And I'm so glad to see it. And I say that because any day we get to see is a fine day. It's all about how we work it. But I hope everyone is doing well and are able to get out and enjoy the day, getting some fresh air, sunshine, and hopefully some exercise in. As I also like to say. But I did have a great thought I wanted to share today, and it was one that Most High impressed in my spirit very adamantly. It wasn't gentle at all, and he basically told me, well, first I had a vision, and it was of me embracing a fella and him stabbing me in both of my sides / back. And instantly I said, okay, I'm gonna have to stop giving folks hugs, just give them the fist bump. But as soon as I thought of that, the Most High said, stop embracing fools. Stop embracing fools. And the script he gave me was out of Ecclesiastes 3, and I think it was 5, if I'm not mistaken. But it's where it says, there's a time to gather stones and a time to cast stones away. It's a time to embrace and a time to stop embracing. And as I begin to, I guess you can say, embrace this thought, the Most High told me that we are embracing the fools in our lives, and not embracing those that He's sent to us. And a lot of it comes from our old mentalities, our old mindsets, and we have to change that first. Like the script says, let this mind be in you that was also in Yahushua HaMashiach. And it also goes on to say that we have to renew the mind. And see, these are two scripts you will hear me say quite often, because it's the foundation of our walk with the Most High. And it's our foundation for our walk with His people, with our brothers and sisters, that at this point we're not embracing. We're still embracing our old associates. And notice I didn't say friends, because I don't really believe we had a whole lot of friends when we was out in the world. Now I know we did have some, and some was definitely ordained by the Most High, but the ones I'm talking about are the ones that Hasatan sent, that we're still embracing, that are stabbing us in our backs. But we have to get to a place in our walk with the Most High, as I was saying just now on a prior recording, that we listen to Him intently. And what I mean by intently, that means you listen to Him with intentions to hear from Him, or Him talking to you, or Him communicating with you. And I've tried to get out of the saying that He talks to us all the time, because the Most High is so great, we can't box Him in, because He does a whole lot more than just talk. Like I say, He's communicating with us. And see, the most important thing is that we communicate back. Just like the old saying, holler if you hear me. See, that's what the Most High wants. He wants us to holler back and let us know we hear. And the most important way of doing that is through our obedience, by us walking out His commands that He's given us daily. Stop embracing the fool while he's stabbing you in the back. That's the thought the Most High basically gave me, which basically gave me a vision of somebody coming, and you know how the brothers do, we'll hit you on the back when we embrace each other. Instead of hugging in, we'll just tap on the back and let that be it. he showed me to where I embraced somebody and they had two knives in their hand. After they went to hug, I guess they pulled them from under their sleeves and then stabbed me in the back. And I say the back, but it looked like to me it was in my sides, up by my under my the wing, under my shoulders. Because when I looked at myself, it looked like, you know, I was standing there like, really? You gonna do this? It was like in the sense of a crucifix. But it was definitely the sense of somebody stabbing me in the back. But the text the Most High gave me, like I said before, Ecclesiastes 5:3-5. A time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together. A time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. And this is my notes that I wrote quickly. I was just waking up this morning when I had a vision of hugging someone I knew. As I embraced this individual, he stabbed me in the back with two short knives. I instantly went into repair the breach mode in my mind as I saw this attack so vividly in my mind's eye, saying to myself, I'm fist bumping everybody from now on out. However, I heard Abba say, stop embracing fools, very emphatically. And I like reading my notes because it not only will give you, the listener, an idea of where I'm coming from, but also it reminds me of where the Most High was at, or where I was at when he gave me this thought, or how I received it from him at the time he was giving it. But as I was saying in the first recording, that we need to be very careful who we're embracing in this season of our lives. And I didn't touch on this idea as much, but Hasatan is sending folks he wants you to embrace to you, as well as the Most High is sending you folks that you need to embrace. And a lot of times we don't want to embrace it. And I give an example. Last night on our prayer call, the Restoration Center prayer call here in Charlotte with Pastor Kenny and Rhonda. Pastor Kenny, he came and gave a warning about some of us that had been getting a little loose-lipped. And he went on to say that we're getting back to using the slang of the world, or that slang talk that we used while we was on the streets. And I had to confess that that was me, because a few days ago I had gotten very upset with some folks, and I noticed myself going back into some slang talk that if everybody was listening to me that was on that call last night, I would be ashamed. And the truth be told, I went on to repent to the Most High after I had that conversation with my wife, and I was sharing some things I should have kept to myself, or at least in my spirit, or I should have shared them in a different way. I shouldn't have said the things I said, basically. So when the Most High, through him, reminded me of that, it was a serious check-in. And see, that's the point I'm making. We don't want to always embrace those that are going to check us and make us better. See, the point about it is, if I get too comfortable with that kind of talking or communication with my wife, then before long I'm gonna be comfortable with communicating with others in the same sense. And the script goes, communication. Let not such and such a communication proceed out of your mouth or something like that. Anyway, the script is going across the screen. I'm gonna look it up. But not only was that a reminder to me as a checker that I was letting evil communication proceed off my tongue, but also it was a reminder that I had somebody that I'm accountable to, and that the Most High is using to hold me accountable to himself. And that goes back to the idea I was speaking on the other day about, in a prior recording, about being accountable and standing beside the Most High's men for these times. And this is why. Because from time to time, we're going to have to remember that we're not the ones in charge. Just like I gave the example of when you go into basic training, that's the first thing they teach you is the chain of command. You have to learn off top that you're not in charge, that you can't do what you want to do when you want to do it and how you want to do it. They train you on that first thing, where they wake you up like 4:30 in the morning and get you to running about 5 miles when you ain't used to running at all. Well, a lot of people try to get in shape for basic training, and this is things I've heard. I showed it. I said to myself, with all my family members that have been in the Army, I think I've served my time with them. But anywho, I just thought I'd come back and share that and be transparent, because maybe that will help somebody else. Because the point is, we're not perfect in our actions. We must be perfect in our walk. And see, when I did that, the Most High checked me, and that's why I apologized to him and asked him to forgive me. And I basically repented at that time, saying I'm not going to do that anymore. I turned at that time and said I'm not going to do that no more. But the Most High sent me a checker to make sure, because it was hard for me to acknowledge my fault in front of other folks, but that's what the text says. And see, I remember that feeling. I remember that feeling of shame and somewhat embarrassment, because we tend to want people to look at us in a certain light. But see, the honest thing about it is, the Most High sees us for who we are. He sees us in the place we really are. See, just like I said in a prior recording, we can't hide from the Most High. Or I said we can't take any days off from the Most High and call in sick. But we can't hide from him either. Because he's always watching. Just like the text says, he sits high and looks low. And it also says he's looking to and fro for men, basically looking for faith. Looking for men that trust in him, that love him to the point where they'll obey him. See, that's the whole point about it is, and I'm getting this fact down to a science, that it's not about you saying I love you. See, you can tell the Most High you love him all day, every day, but the point is, show me the action. See, he's all about action himself, because that's who he is. He's a God of action. He's a Elohim of action. So I just want to say thank the Most High. Thank the Most High for this thought for today. And I pray that He would instill in us the right way of doing things. Instill in us the desires to do the right thing. And not always to the point where we have to go through the hell and high water. The hard knocks and the bumps across the head. Which a lot of times that's the only way we're going to get it. But I would hope that sometimes we would look at another person's circumstance and say, I don't want that for my life. I'm going to go the other direction. So, oh boy, that boy went through some things. Oh boy, that woman went through some things. But the point about it is they still calling on the Most High. So I don't want to have to go through that for myself. Don't be like me is what I'm trying to tell you. Take my advice. Do what's right and serve the Most High. And serve Him with the intent of doing it with a pure heart. Because just as I alluded to before, that's when you are serving Him in perfection. That's when you're serving Him holy. Like the word says, be perfect for I am perfect, or be holy for I am holy. And He told me you're not going to walk the walk perfectly, but it's all about your heart being perfect towards me. Basically, your actions are always going to be perfect, but your heart should always be perfect towards me. So I guess the question would be today, who are you embracing that may be stabbing you in your back? And who are you continually sharing your presence with that may be killing you? And like I said, the Most High pushed this in my spirit adamantly. And you can almost say it was forcefully. It was like a punch in the chest. And I know this is for me because sometimes we try to play God in people's lives, I guess we could say. Sometimes we try so hard to try to usher in people into this truth that we're getting in the way of the Most High doing His work for Him. And two, it's killing us. It's harming us. But my word of encouragement for today would be to search your heart deeply. Just like my Uncle Lord would say, I love you from the bottom of my heart. And that's when he was getting lit. And then he would go tell us to lay down and think about it. But that's what I want to impress in us today. To really search our hearts and not ask ourselves, what associations am I holding on to that may be depriving the Most High's work in my life and in their lives, and or could be killing me or them. But that's gonna be my time. Stay up and keep pushing forward in the right direction. Shalom.